Welcome to the new era of infrastructure architecture. For decades, Moore's Law allowed us to rely on increasing CPU clock speeds for performance gains. However, as we hit the power wall and the limits of instruction-level parallelism, the industry has pivoted toward heterogeneous computing. Today, we are no longer building systems around a single general-purpose processor. Instead, we are orchestrating complex workloads across many cores, GPUs, FPGAs, and AI accelerators. For senior architects, understanding these programming models is no longer optional. It is the cornerstone of building ultra-scalable, high-availability systems that can handle the massive data throughput of the modern web and AI-driven applications. We will explore how to move from thread-level parallelism to massive data parallelism.
When we talk about GPUs, we move from the latency-oriented world of CPUs to the throughput-oriented world of SIMT, or single instruction, multiple threads. Unlike a CPU that excels at branching logic and low-latency execution of a single thread, a GPU is designed to execute thousands of identical operations simultaneously across different data points. This is facilitated by thousands of small, efficient cores organized into streaming multiprocessors. For an infrastructure engineer, this means reframing algorithms to minimize branching and maximize occupancy. We must manage thousands of threads to hide memory latency, ensuring that the hardware is never sitting idle waiting for data from global memory.
To harness this power, we use programming models like NVIDIA's CUDA or the Open Standard Cycle. CUDA provides a C++-based abstraction that allows developers to define kernels, functions executed in parallel across a grid of blocks. However, as we aim for cross-vendor compatibility, Cycle and OneAPI are gaining traction. These models allow us to write code once and deploy it across GPUs from different manufacturers. The challenge for the architect lies in managing the memory space transition, explicitly moving data between host RAM and device VRAM. Understanding the performance cost of these transfers is critical for maintaining high availability in distributed systems. Beyond GPUs, many core architectures like the latest Xeon processors or tiled arrays offer a middle ground. These chips feature dozens or even hundreds of independent, general-purpose cores connected by high-bandwidth on-chip networks. Unlike GPUs, these cores can handle complex branching and independent tasks, but they require sophisticated cache coherence protocols. For ultra-scalable systems, the bottleneck often shifts from raw computation to the NoC, or network on chip. Architects must design software that respects NUMA boundaries and minimizes inter-core communication to prevent stalls in the mesh. Field Programmable Gate Arrays, or FPGAs, represent a fundamental shift from instruction-based computing to spatial computing. In an FPGA, you are not writing software for a fixed processor, you are designing the hardware circuit itself. This allows for extreme customization and deterministic latency, which is vital for high-frequency trading or real-time signal processing. The programming here involves configuring lookup tables, flip-flops, and DSP slices. By tailoring the hardware to the specific algorithm, we can achieve massive performance per watt improvements over traditional CPUs. Historically, FPGAs were programmed using hardware description languages like Verilog or VHDL, which were inaccessible to most software engineers. Enter high-level synthesis, or HLS. HLS allows us to compile C, C++, or OpenCL code directly into register transfer-level logic. This abstraction allows software architects to iterate quickly, using pragmas to guide the compiler on loop unrolling and pipelining. However, mastering HLS requires a shift in mindset. You are no longer thinking about when a line of code executes, but where it exists in physical space on the silicon. The explosion of deep learning has birthed domain-specific architectures like Google's TPU or specialized NPUs. These chips abandon general-purpose flexibility in favor of high-performance tensor operations. By utilizing systolic arrays, these accelerators can perform thousands of multiply-accumulate operations in a single cycle with minimal power. For the infrastructure engineer, the programming model usually involves high-level frameworks like TensorFlow or PyTorch, which abstract the underlying hardware. However, understanding the data flow, how tensors move from memory to the arithmetic units, is essential for optimizing large-scale model inference. In all Manycore and accelerator systems, the biggest bottleneck isn't the compute, it's the data movement. We call this the memory wall. To combat this, modern accelerators utilize HBM3, or high bandwidth memory, which stacks DRAM layers vertically on the package using through-silicon vias. This provides terabytes per second of bandwidth. As architects, we must optimize for data locality. If your kernel is memory-bound, no amount of extra cores will help. We must use techniques like tiling and double buffering to ensure that data is available exactly when the compute units need it. As our hardware stacks become more fragmented, the industry is moving toward unified programming models. Intel's OneAPI and the MLIR, Multi-Level Intermediate Representation Project, aim to provide a common compiler infrastructure for CPUs, GPUs, and FPGAs. This allows for a write-once, target-many approach. For a senior architect, these tools are vital for maintaining a clean codebase while still extracting maximum performance from specialized hardware. By using MLIR, compilers can optimize at different levels of abstraction, ensuring that the high-level intent of the software is preserved all the way down to the hardware bits. As we look to the future of ultra-scalable systems, we see the integration of optical interconnects and even quantum accelerators. The programming models of tomorrow will need to handle even higher levels of concurrency and non-deterministic execution. For now, the focus remains on mastering the orchestration of heterogeneous silicon. By understanding the trade-offs between GPUs, FPGAs, and Manycores, you can build systems that are not only faster, but more resilient and cost-effective. The future of infrastructure is not just about more servers. It is about smarter, more specialized silicon and the code that drives it.